gun ones. Like I plead the second. Like you can wear that in a lot of places, but there are places where maybe you don't want to just like preach your political beliefs.
Yeah.
I can't think of any.
I'm trying to think of something.
I'm in Georgia, man. I don't think there's anywhere out that I would wear that second shirt.
It's funny when you're around gun people, like not you, but like me or something. Like I'll go to a gun show, and people are just openly like, "Yeah, fucking Obama, he's a cocksucker, right?" And it's like, I guess that's safe to say here.
But he's buttoning up his other shirt to cover up the 2008 Hope shirt. Oh yeah, I mean, who that guy? I mean, he's a real black fella for you, right? Like we don't care for those people, do we? Right? Everybody agree? Like,
dude, that I started to talk about on PKN, like I was sort of I was in the camp that this whole Republican racist thing is overblown. That it's completely possible to dislike Obama and his policies without being racist. But seeing as how the leading Republican candidate is running on like a pro-racism platform, the whole like no Muslims in the country, what was of course there's the big wall to keep the Mexicans out, and who knows what's next? Probably the darkies. and he's just, it's like, dude, every time he says something, and I think he's going too far, like, hey, let's violate the Geneva Convention and just start killing the family members of anyone who's involved in this stuff. It's actually the red meat that his constituents love.
well, it's still possible to support them without being a racist.
I feel like if you're pro-Trump, his major policies seem to be about keeping the Mexicans out, keeping the Muslims out. That's the core of his message.
Well, it seems almost like that's incidental that it's Mexicans, because that's the country, the one country that's illegals are pouring in from. Like if it were
There's
Canada,
more leaving than coming now.
he wouldn't be just ecstatic about it because they were white Canadians, making the NHL a bigger sport here. Finally, they get on ESPN. Like it's more of like, it's not even racist. If you're going to go with an ist or a phobe, it'd be like xenophobic at worst. But I think it's more that than just, I hate Mexicans. He's got a Mexican wife, doesn't he? A Hispanic wife?
Rubio does, I don't think Trump does.
No, Trump's got like a Swedish fucking supermodel type wife, I think.
Well,
right?
that's foreign too. He can't be racist. Like, that's a little different.
Is it Trump that's got the super hot daughter?
Yes.
It's Trump, right? It's like,
Yes.
she's got a weird
Ivanka
Yes.
was his wife before, I think, and she was hot,
Ivana.
but she's probably getting older by now.
Yeah.
name. It's not his daughter, though? I thought that was his daughter.
I think Ivanka might be his daughter, and Ivana is his wife.
Oh, then I could easily be confused
Ivana
because
and
those are
Ivana.
very close to each
Are
other.
they both
Very
hot?
close.
Yeah, they're both hot. Both hot. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for Trump.
Yeah, good
yeah.
for Trump. I can't wait to see this thing play out because I really do think he's. So if he's not the Republican guy, right? If they don't name him their candidate, then he could run as a third party, and he still retains a lot of his supporters, like enough so that he destroys the election for the Republicans anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So the Republicans are really between a rock and a hard place. They must be terrified of him running as a third party candidate, but at the same time, they feel like they got to hit him hard so that they don't have to make him their guy. It's
Yeah.
And I really want to see him be their guy though, because I think it'll be incredibly entertaining to see him go against Clinton on
Is it, though?
national.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be
it's-
hilarious.
To me, Trump is just too low-hanging fruit. Like I feel like a lot of comedians are saying the same thing. Like, we all thought it was going to be hilarious, and then it's too easy. It's not clever to say, like, can you believe this goofball?
I don't care about. I don't need Jimmy Fallon to make a parody of Trump and make me laugh. Trump alone is good enough to make me laugh. In that regard, I guess you're right. Yeah, it's for maybe.
Yeah.
As far as he goes as fodder for comedians, yeah, maybe it is low-hanging fruit. But I'm not a professional comedian. I don't care about that. I just want to watch him crash and burn and be a moron on a national stage, say the things that aren't politically correct. And a lot of, I'm not a Trump supporter by any means, but every now and then he'll say something I'm like, well, that does kind of make sense, right? Like he's just saying what people think, right? But you're not allowed to say. But it's rare. Most of the time he's just going off the wall with some crazy stuff that really does appeal to a xenophobic group of people. You know, he's got a lot of racist supporters, I would say. I wouldn't say that all Trump supporters are racist, but a lot of them are. Definitely. I mean, I think that bandito, bandit, as they're calling him, who like shot the Sikh gas station clerk, like he had a Trump 2016 sticker right on the back of his truck. He had some Trump ammunition. Like,
I hope there's Trump branded ammo.
Why?
I would buy Trump ammo.
Right?
Yeah.
Some people were saying that Trump running for president
On the box, it would be like Trump 9mm. Keep him out. That was the slogan. Keep him out. That's it.
What was the movie with Chris Rock where they did the thing where he was running for president and they had like all like the KKK like for his opposition and
I don't remember. It's been a long time.
What movie was that?
Like a lookalike for the
Head of State. Head of State.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
So I thought this was cool. He's not actually worth $10 billion, right? He's only worth $10 billion if we really inflate the value of his assets. And something like $4 billion of that 10 is just the value of the Trump brand, right? It's this aspirational brand. You stick Trump on a set of golf clubs and suddenly that set of golf clubs is worth more. A lot of people feel like he's been so polarizing that the Trump brand means something different now, and that it's costing him billions to run this.
No way. There's no way.
It can go the other way too.
So much coverage. Here's the public is so fickle. Here's what's going to happen. This whole thing is going to blow over, and then Clinton becomes president, and then he'll go back to just being Donald Trump. Except he's Donald Trump who just got like $1 billion worth of free advertising or something like that. Like he's on a global stage. Vladimir Putin is talking about him. He can only be worth more. He has to.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Like, he's got ties, shirts, a whole like fashion line pretty much. Like if you walk into Macy's or Nordstrom or wherever, it's there. It's not like they hid it in the back, behind a curtain at the racist section. Like it's right up in the front. There's tons of expensive Trump.
We talked about how Stephen Colbert is not doing well because half of America
doesn't transition.
It turned out those numbers were kind of picked and chosen. Like the week in particular they used was one where Colbert was running a repeat, was running a week of repeats, and the competition was running like a I don't know. They were news shows, and I think they had a good guest or two or something like that. I heard the producer of that show on the Stern show, because Stern had called him out for this. He was like, Stern was reading the article that we all read, and so the producer goes on there and he's like, no, that's not exactly fair because, we're showing reruns that week and they've got this brand new content they're putting out. Like when in reality, according to him anyway, of course, that is his guy. They're in a tight race they're in a tight second place in late night, but who knows? When there's so many different ways to look at those ratings numbers. There's dailies. And then there's, like you said, there's instances where one team might be off for vacation and the other team are coming out with new stuff. But on average, he's definitely not getting anywhere near what Fallon is doing. But the
general concept of Stephen Colbert only appealing to half of the population because he's leans towards the liberal side also applies to Trump, right? His brand, which previously was just an aspirational brand that anyone who might want great golf clubs or polo shirts might want. Now, only Republicans who like golf clubs would buy them.
I think he's strengthened himself with that group of people, though. I feel like maybe he has turned a group of people off to him, but just as strongly, I feel like he's turned a group of people on to him. There's a group of guys who are like, yeah, Trump's my guy. Trump makes some ammunition, I'll buy that ammo. Trump makes a shirt, I'll buy that Trump, because Trump's like me. Trump doesn't like those brown people. They know. Trump. You look at Trump's lineup; like he doesn't have any brown shirts; they're all white.
Trump's Aryan collection.
Yeah, the Aryan collection. Yeah, that's